Hi, welcome. There are some things you may want to know and have around you before this class begins. You may want a journal. I recommend it for the end. You may want an altar. Now, this is not required, but it may provide a deeper layer of potency and meaning for you. And this could be, mine's directly on the ground. I always just do it on the bare earth, but you can do it on a piece of wood or a blanket, and it could be things that you've found around your backyard, your home. Perhaps you have collected crystals or plant friends that you would like to arrange in a way that feels intentional and pleasing to the eye. Again, not required, but you may want to. And there's a couple things you're going to need to know. You are going to need to know the directions. Now, you may already know this from looking it up on a compass or from observing the path of the sun through the sky. If in this moment you don't know, that's okay. Look on your phone, there's a compass, or maybe you have a compass, that would be cool. And after looking it up, I do invite you over these next few days to pay attention to the path of the sun in the sky, to how it feels in your body to face each direction, which we will do a lot in this practice today, but see if you can bring that into your daily life. The other thing you'll need to know is who the traditional peoples of the land you reside on right now. Who are those people? And if you don't know, you can go to native-land.ca. There'll be a map. Preferably learn the name that belongs to them rather than the name that was given to them by the colonizers. You may also be curious to find out what other beings of the landscape you're on were and are affected by the extractive society that we live in today, by the spread of human civilization. Again, this you don't have to know. This is not required. It may be intuitive, and it may be something that you look into after this class. So go ahead and press pause if you need to gather any of that information. If you already have it, then let us begin. We are going to set sacred space by calling in the directions, their medicines, the ancestors, and so forth. At some point in your ancestors' history, no matter where you are on this globe, they had some form of a practice like this. Now, if you still have that in your lineage, if the way that you called in sacred space with nature, your ancestors have, if that is known to you, that is so beautiful, and please use that, or any bits of it that you do know. If you have no idea, that's okay. I'm going to guide you through this practice, but this is going to be, you are going to be guided to follow your own intuition, because we all have different blood ancestry and cultures woven throughout our bodies. I truly believe that somewhere within your DNA, somewhere within your energetic body, you remember, or at the very least, you have a connection to the place that you are on if you just listen and pay attention, get quiet and feel. So that's what we're going to do today. When we face each direction, feel what energies show up for you. What elements, earth, air, fire, water, maybe something else that you know was within your lineage that was called upon. Notice if there's any animal totems or plant allies or land formations, human nature, things that reflect the human nature. Just observe what comes. Now, for me, this looks different depending on where I am, feeling into the space that I'm at, what element feels right for the direction of that place. So I don't like to give any set, this direction means this, because it's different depending on where you are and who you are. So when you're ready, we're going to find ourselves standing. We're going to begin by facing east. Now, if this means that you're not facing the screen, that's okay. You don't need to see me for this part of the practice. Just listen. So the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to have you feel into the energy of each direction, and then I'm going to call them in the way that feels right for me in this landscape, in this moment, as an example, and then I'll give you some more time to breathe and to feel and to state what you need to state, to call on what you need to call on. This can be spoken aloud or in silence. Allow the shoulders to give way to gravity. Have a slight bend in the knees, a slight tuck of the tailbone. Allow the crown of the head to reach up. Lift all 10 toes, spread them wide, having the feet touch the ground as much as they're able, rooted, rising. And with a soft gaze, or perhaps even with eyes closed, facing the east. Getting quiet, feeling, listening with your entire being. What is this direction stirring within you? For me, I call upon the energies of the east, of the rising sun, of new beginnings. I call upon the element of fire, for it is in this direction that the sun rises and blankets this desert landscape in warmth. I call upon the ancient and wise rattlesnake who sees and feels through heat and vibration, who clearly states his boundaries also through vibration. I call upon the stone beings and I ask that these energies share any wisdom or messages they may feel drawn to sharing with me. And I promise to do my best to listen and to honor them. Thank you. Now take a few moments and feel into what is right for you. And as you end, remember to ask that they share any wisdom or messages that they feel drawn to share with you. Let them know you will do your best to listen and to honor them. Be sure to thank them. When you're ready, doing a quarter turn to face the south. Feel into this direction. Observe whose energies are asking to be known, to be listened to. For me, I call upon the energies of the south. And for me, being on the northern equator, it is the space where our early human ancestors began their journey. To the spirit of the ficus tree, whose roots grow wide and deep, who brave the wild moods of this planet, trusting in her to hold the roots that are buried. I call upon the distant jungles of this planet that are dripping with life, for that is what Earth is known for. I ask that these energies share any wisdom or messages they may feel drawn to sharing with me. I promise to do my best to listen and to honor them. Thank you. Now, to do a quarter turn to face the west. Feeling what does this direction stir within you? Listening with your whole body, your heart, your mind. For me, I call upon the spirits of the West, the element of water, the great Pacific Ocean, the blue whale whose song and devotion to the next generation tugs at the hearts of the human animal. I ask that these energies share any wisdom or messages they may feel drawn to sharing with me. I promise to do my best to listen and to honor them. Thank you. When you're ready, taking a quarter turn, facing north. What do you feel when you face this direction? What bubbles within? For me, I call upon the spirits and the energies of the north, the element of air whose cold breath tells of winter, the spirit of the Clark's nutcracker, whose wings cast a startling contrast against snow, who knows when to dance in the wild wind and who knows when to rest, whose preparation and tactics for survival not only nourish themselves, but plant the next generation of forest. I ask that these energies share any wisdom or knowledge they may be drawn to share with me. I promise that I will do my best to listen and to honor them. Thank you. Now, I'm going to bring the arms up to the sky. Gazing up towards the unfurling cosmos. Let us call in the spirits of the sky, of the cosmic void, of the celestial bodies we share this neighborhood that is the solar system with, this galaxy with, this galaxy cluster with, this universe with. To the clouds, the microscopic beings floating through the air. We ask that you share any wisdom or knowledge, any messages you may feel drawn to sharing with us. We will do our best to listen and to honor you. Thank you. You can bring the arms down, but still have the palms facing skyward. Take this time to call upon any guides or angels or divine beings or mythical beings. Anyone you feel drawn to or already have a relationship with. Perhaps it's simply the energies of the stars. I am going to call upon mine in silence. I ask that these guides share any wisdom or messages they may feel drawn to sharing with me. I ask that throughout this practice, they provide me with protection. I will do my best to listen and to honor you. Thank you. And be sure as you call in yours that you do ask for their protection here. And slowly, in whatever way is comfortable for you, I like to sit in a squat, but you don't have to. We just want to bring our hands to the earth. Feeling the sensations in the palms. Feeling as though you could breathe between your heart space, through the arms and into the earth. From the earth, up the arms into the heart. Let us call upon the energies of the earth herself, of the primordial mother, of the consciousness of this planet. Let us call in the mycelia, the rooted beings, the soil dwellers. Let us ask that they share any wisdom or messages they may feel drawn to sharing with us, promising to listen and to do our best to honor them. Thank you. Let us call upon our own healed and well and benevolent, earth-honoring ancestors. Asking that they join you, that they join me. Feel as your ancestors surround you with love. Feel the ancestors and guides all mingling around you. Let us ask these ancestors to help guide us into a new way forward, and to share any messages or wisdom they may feel drawn to sharing with us. And just as we've asked of our guides, we ask that throughout this practice they provide their protection. Thank you. And for this next part, I am going to start as an example. This is when you want to have the names of the original peoples of the land you're on at hand. With the hands on the earth, with honor, respect, and gratitude, I call on the wise ancestors of this land, the human and the non-human, the ironwood tree, the saguaro cactus, the puma, the javelina, the sea turtle, el pupito, to the Yaqui, Guayamas, and Seri people who wove baskets from the fibers of the tarote plant, who fished along these wild shores, whose warriors and medicine people and mystic gained wisdom from the beautiful Teitakawi mountains, who rise above the sea like breasts, a symbol of the great Earth Mother. If you know the name of the traditional people of the land you're on, acknowledge these ancestors. Spend some moments with your heart, breathing from the heart into the hands, acknowledging the past of these beings and of these people and their relationship to this land. And anything that stirs within the heart, perhaps gratitude, awe, grief, longing, something unnameable. Spend some moments in silence with this, breathing it into the ground. And let us ask permission of these ancestors that we connect to the land we are on with respect. May we tread lightly and honor all life that resides here. May we write a new story moving forward, or perhaps it is more a remembering how to be stewards of a place rather than takers. Throughout this practice, we ask that these benevolent ancestors share any wisdom or messages that they feel need to be heard or brought forth into the world through us specifically. And we will do our best to hear them and to honor them. Now, bring the hands to the heart. Close the eyes, dropping in. Honoring our own bodies, their intelligence and the wisdom we hold within us already. May we be humble and open to receive. May we find the courage to face the stories of this planet that are not sustainable or healthy. May we be brave enough to shift the ways in which we are complicit to the imbalances on this planet for the good of all life. May we be reformed, remembered, and recalibrated. We are going to get into the movement portion of this practice. If you want any blocks around, go ahead and bring them. If not, we are going to start and end in child's pose. So it's up to you how you want to be. The knees could be wide or they could be together. Feeling into your own body. If you need to place a block, go ahead and place the block. If the forehead could rest directly on the earth, rest it on the earth. The arms could be alongside the body, or you can reach the arms out. I'm going to have my arms alongside of me. Feeling yourself held by the earth, by your ancestors, by the beings
and spirits of this land. Listening with your whole body, your whole being. Feel the weight of your bones, your body's relationship with gravity, how it draws you closer and closer to the heart of the earth. A shape that we've found ourselves in, some form of it, when we were in the womb of our human mothers. We are in a shape that many ancient cultures buried their loved ones in, to represent being born again in the womb of the earth. Allowing yourself to be here fully.
When you're ready, slowly bringing the arms out in front of you, spread the fingers wide, rooting the hands and fingers down towards the earth. If the knees were together, opening them a little bit wider. With your inhale, gazing up like a crouching animal, lift the hips, bend the elbows, bring the heart forward. As soon as the heart is between the biceps, press into the ground with the hands to lift the arms. Sit bones are reaching up, and the heart unfurls, as does the gaze towards the vast deeps of the cosmos. Shoulder blades squeeze together and down. Hands drag back even though they're rooted. Back of the head reaches back towards the sit bones. Take a few breaths here. Exhale. Slowly tuck the tailbone, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. The chin tucks into chest, rounding, pressing the earth away, bowing and humbling the brain to the wisdom of the earth, of the ancestors. Taking a few breaths here. Slowly, those hips start to pull you back, and your back starts to flatten as you come into a child's pose. Letting yourself be held. We're going to move like this to the wind of our own breath. I'll guide you through one more time, and then you'll do it a couple more times at your own pace with your own breath. Inhale, gazing up at the hands, bend into the elbows like a stalking animal. Heart comes between the biceps, lift the elbows, sit bones and heart and gaze. Find the sky. exhale, tuck through lower, middle, upper back, suctioning that solar plexus in and up. Chin tucks to chest, bowing. Humbling the brain, surrendering to the earthly journey. Sit bones, reach back towards the heels. Child's pose. Moving through this a couple times with your own breath in silence. And let us all meet in child's pose once again. Gazing up at the hands. Now, you're going to listen to your body. How does your body want to be moved? Close the eyes. Let it be intuitive. Maybe it's something similar to what we did. Maybe you want to move in circles or lift the knees. Maybe you want to swing the hips side to side. There's no rules here, except for the one rule, which is to listen to the cravings of your body. How does it want to be stretched? How does it want to be moved? Or maybe it wants to be in stillness, trusting that your body knows how it wants to be, trusting in that internal wisdom. Taking 3 more breaths within this intuitive place. And we will all meet back in a neutral tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, fingers spread wide. Go ahead and tuck the toes under. Engage the thighs, lift the knees, and allow the hips and sit bones to draw you up and back. And keep the knees as bent as you need to. Again, listening to the body here. Maybe you want to wiggle out the legs, straightening one and the other. Maybe you want to move the hips side to side for a moment. Taking a couple breaths to move in whatever way you need to move here. And then finding stillness. Bending the knees as much as you need to, at least have a micro bent, but maybe they want to be very bent. Pressing into the earth, pressing the earth away with those hands. Feel your shoulders. They might be trying to rise up and in towards the ears. Go ahead and wrap them outwards. Feel that outward wrap of the triceps, of the shoulders, creating space for the back of the heart. That micro bend of the knee. Feel the sit bones reaching up towards the sky, letting any weight in the head go, letting any thoughts that are tumbling through the brain that feel unnecessary for this practice, or perhaps for your life in general. Allow them to leave the brain, to drip through the skull and into the earth beneath you, to be composted into something new. Slowly lift up high on the balls of the feet. Shift the weight to the right foot. Bend the left knee as much as you need to here, suctioning that left femur in and up, lifting up that left hip. You're going to step that foot forward, but before you step it down, spread the toes wide. First, making contact with the ground with the toes, then the ball of the foot, then maybe the rest of the foot, or maybe the rest of the foot can't quite reach yet. Lifting up high onto the balls of the feet, bending the right knee as much as you need to, lifting, spreading the toes. Slowly, toes come down, then ball of the foot, then the heel if it can reach yet. If you need to come onto the fingertips or you need to place blocks down, go ahead and do so. Just taking these slow, conscious steps, feeling how even something as simple as this, notice how much is going on here, how much the body is working for you. As you move, feel the terrain beneath the feet. Feel what muscles are working, what muscles are soft. And with your exhale, folding deeply once you get close to the hands or you can't move forward anymore, dropping the head, dropping the arms, dropping any rambling threads of thought in the brain that don't feel like medicine for you, that don't feel like messages from all the beings that are surrounding you that you have called in. When you're ready, slowly bending the knees again as much as you need to. Feel the sit bones kind of squeezing together and down as you slowly lift up, round and curling up, stacking the vertebrae like a stack of plates. Until you find yourself all the way standing. Micro bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, spread the toes wide, bring them back down. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky and allow the shoulders to give way to gravity. And feel, perhaps closing the eyes, feel into the energy of the direction that you're facing, those energies you've called in. And even if you're between directions, feel how they mingle. Bringing the hands to the heart, pressing those thumbs into the heart space. Sending love and intention, a prayer, and bringing that up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, sit bones, draw back, bringing that prayer down to earth, bending the knees as much as you need to. Fingertips find the ground, or the hands can come onto blocks. If the fingertips are on the ground, feel as they all pull in towards one another. like a tent, out tight, but pulling in, lifting the center. Weight shifts to the right foot. Left leg reaches up and back. Feel that left heel reaching back. Just go ahead and gaze back. See the left pinky toe pointed at the earth. Those fingers draw back and the crown of the head reaches forward. Belly button pulls in and up. Inhale to elongate. Exhale, bend into the right knee. The back toes and the ball of the foot find the ground, as does the back knee. Wiggle the right toes as much as you need to have the right knee and the right ankle aligned. Here, you're going to form a fist with the left hand on the inside of that right foot at the same level as, or not the same level, but directly beneath that left shoulder. The right hand you are going to bring to the same level as the shoulder. It doesn't have to be touching the shoulder. You want the elbow and the fist to be in line with one another. Inhale slowly as you lift this up as if you were holding an arrow, pointing it up into the cosmos, into this unfurling space for which there are endless possibilities. Recognizing that we are in a liminal space between what is and what will be. Let this arrow we hold be an intention for how we want to move forward. For the new story we want to write. With your exhale, let this arrow go by opening that right hand, reaching it back, palm facing up. And we're going to take a twist, so either the left hand could be on the right thigh or the left elbow comes outside of that right knee. And go ahead and have the right palm facing earthward, left palm facing skyward, fingers reach back. Crown of the head reaches forward, but gazing back as well. Gazing back as we do at the lessons of our individual past, of our shared planetary past, so that we may be informed as we move forward in a way that is serving for us and for all beings. Inhale slowly, the arms reach up. Engage that back thigh, lift the back knee. Slowly moving to the left and shift the feet so the toes are pointed out towards the corners of the mat. You're going to squat down, so if you need to step the feet further away or closer together, I'm actually going to step back so you can see me a little bit better. And you're going to squat down as much as you're comfortable, and maybe it's here today. Maybe it's quite deep, honoring where you're at. And for a moment, reaching the arms up, palms are facing skyward, fingers in towards one another. An expression of holding up the sky. Sometimes it feels as we move through these challenging times that we are doing the impossible. It feels like the weight of the world, the weight of the sky, is being held by us alone. With your exhale, bring the arms out to the sides at the same level as the shoulders, palms facing out, describing the boundaries and the limitations of being a human, honoring them, remembering that it is not your job to hold up the sky, to hold the world. You cannot do this alone. That is your boundary. And we must also honor our own personal boundaries so that we may be a better service to this world, to ourselves, and therefore our communities. Feel how holding these boundaries and recognizing our limitations, it's challenging, right? The arms may feel shaky. From here, standing up straight, and go ahead and have the toes pointing towards the front of your mat. The pinky side edges are parallel with the sides of your mat, or the inside edges are parallel with each other. Hands on the hips, sit bones reach back, heart reaches forwards until we slowly drop the head, drop the arms. Sit bones reach up towards the sky. There's a micro bend in the knees. Hamstrings are actively pressing back. And letting us be in this place of surrendering the tumbling thread of thoughts in our brain. Surrendering to the fact that as individuals, we can't necessarily change the story on our own, but instead we surrender to trust. Trusting in what the outcome will be, knowing that there is no fixed outcome for this unfurling story will always continue within this ever-experiencing universe. Slowly bring the fingertips to the ground beneath the shoulders. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Go ahead and walk the hands over towards the right foot, pointing towards the right, towards the front of your mat. And maybe the hands aren't very far. Maybe they're all the way in front of that right foot. Feel as right hip and right ribs pull towards one another. Feel as those left ribs, as there's space created between them. Take a moment to feel how the breath weaves itself through those left ribs. Inhale. Exhale, slowly walk through center to the other side. Fingertips pointing towards the back of the mat. Maybe they're all the way to the left, but maybe they're not very far to the left. Feel left hip and left ribs pulling in towards one another. Feel the space created in the right side. Feel the breath moving through those right ribs. And slowly, you're going to lift up the left toes and spin on the heel of the left foot, pointing the left toes over towards the left, towards the back of the mat. You're going to come onto the ball of the right foot and have the toes spin to face the back of the mat and bring the knee down. Make a fist with the right hand directly beneath the right shoulder. Make a fist with the left hand at the same level as the left shoulder if you can get there, or just as high as you're able to bring it. That left elbow is pointed up. Feel as the left heel and right knee are magnetizing towards one another. Inhale, lifting up your arrow towards the cosmos. Finding that intention, recognizing that at this time on this planet, we are at a threshold. able to write a new story, sending your intention into the ethers by releasing the left hand, opening it out to the side. Exhale, taking the twist. Right hand can come to the left thigh, or right elbow comes outside of the left knee. Right palm faces skyward, left palm faces earthward. Gazing back. In order to write a new story, we have to pay attention to our past, to our ancient earth-honoring ancestors and the ways in which they lived in reciprocity and harmony with the earth and the cosmos. Inhale, arms reach up, engage the right thigh, lift that knee. Exhale, fingertips find the ground, weight shifts to the left foot. Right heel reaches up and back, fingertips drag back even though they're rooted, crown of the head reaches forwards. And exhale, bend the knee, bring it in towards the nose, and step the foot down. Just folding forwards, allowing the head to be heavy. Dropping any weight you've been carrying. Bend into the knees and slowly rise, stacking the vertebrae. Closing the eyes and just feeling the sensations throughout the body. Feeling the energies of this direction. Listening. Feeling that tuck of the tailbone, lifting up the crown of the head. Palms come together. Fingers meet the heart center. Sending a prayer, a gratitude, a message of thank you into the hands like a seed. Inhale, reach that prayer up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bringing it down to the earth, bending the knees as much as you need to. Fingertips find the ground, weight shifts to the right foot, left heel reaches up and back. Fingertips pull back, heart reaches forward, and so does the crown of the head. Gazing back, making sure that the left pinky toe is pointed towards the ground. And exhale slowly. The left ball of the foot finds the earth, then the knee. Making a fist with the left hand beneath the left shoulder, making a fist with the right hand at the height or towards that right shoulder. Inhale, lifting up. I'll let you be in these places in silence for this round to feel and listen into what shows up for you. Releasing your arrow. And exhale, taking your twist in a way that works for you. If the elbow's outside the knee, left palm faces up, right palm faces earthwards. Gazing back, Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Engage the left thigh, lift the knee. Exhale, open up to the left. Bend into those knees, making sure knees and toes are pointing in the same direction. Squatting down as much as you're able. Describe holding up the sky, holding up the world. And exhale, arms out to the sides, shoulder level, palms facing out, describing your human limitations, honoring your boundaries, listening to what messages this shape and this direction hold for you. Hands come down to the hips. Press into the earth with the legs to lift, to stand straight. Feet parallel to one another. Sit bones reach back, heart reaches forwards. Dropping down, surrendering. Letting go. Fingertips find the earth beneath the shoulders. Micro bend the knees. Sit bones reach back, heart reaches forwards. Like a halfway lift. Slowly walk the fingers over towards the right, pointing to the back of the mat. Feel as the right hip and those right ribs pull in towards one another, pressing into the ground, feeling the space between the left ribs, observing how the breath moves through you in this shape. Slowly move through center to the other side. Left hip and left ribs pulling in towards one another now. Right ribs reaching out. Noticing the current of your breath. Lifting the left toes, spinning on the heel so the toes point to the front of the mat. Spinning on the ball of the back foot, the toes point towards the left. Right knee meets the earth. Right wrist beneath right shoulder. Left wrist pulls up, drawing your bow. Inhale to rise. Back knee and front foot pulling in towards one another. Listening, being with your intention. Looking towards the future through being present. Exhale, release with that left hand and take your twist. Hand to the thigh or elbow outside the knee. Right palm facing skyward, left palm facing earthward, gazing back. Inhale, the arms sweep up, engage the back thigh, lift the knee. Exhale, fingertips find the ground in front of that left foot. Slowly reach the right foot up, gaze back, see the pinky toe pointing towards the earth, fingers drag back, bending that front knee as much as you need to. Heart and crown of the head reach forwards. Exhale, bend the knee, rounding, bringing that knee in towards the nose, stepping the right foot besides the left, forward fold. And slowly making your way to the ground. we're going to make our way back into a child's pose. So getting there in whatever way feels best to you.
Resting, feeling, observing and listening with your entire being. Feeling into the medicine of this shape on your own, trusting you have this ability, because you do. Feel free to stay in this place longer, as long as you need.
But when you do come out, there's a couple things I'd like you to think about. Perhaps after this, doing a little research into the tech of your area, or the TEK, the traditional ecological knowledge, so that you may learn how to be a better steward of place. Doing a little research or reaching out to find out how you could be a better ally of the living landcesters. I said landcesters. I meant living ancestors of the land, but landcesters kind of works. I kind of like that. How can you be of support to these communities? Doesn't have to be through money, but it can be, definitely. There's so many ways, which includes conservation work in ways that align with that traditional ecological knowledge. But what I'd like you to do immediately when you come out of this, if you have the time, maybe do it without a timer, or maybe it helps you to have a timer set on your phone for anywhere from, say, 2 to 15 minutes. Get out your journal and free write on what was stirred within you throughout this practice. What messages came to you? Or what messages are still coming to you? Sometimes, even if at this moment there's nothing coming to mind specifically, Sometimes the exercise of free writing, as in not thinking about grammar, not with no intention to show it to anybody, but only to write and write and write. Doesn't matter if things are spelled correctly, if it even makes sense to you, just write. And then read it. And sometimes this is when those profound messages come through. And when you're done with that, hands to the earth, saying thank you to the ancestors of this land, to the energies of the earth, and all the beings within. Reaching the arms up, thank you to the celestial beings, the cosmic beings, the sky beings for joining us here. Facing the east, a bow or hands to the heart, and a thank you. To the south, I like to bow and hands to my heart. Thank you. To the west, thank you. To the north, thank you. And to our very own bodies, all that they do for us, the intelligence within. Thank you. And thank you for joining me for this practice. So much love to you, my friends.